In a previous video, we saw how to create a parametric pen holder using the Part Design workbench on FreeCAD. And today, we're going to see how to use this spreadsheet workbench and formulas to create completely dynamic objects where you just need to change a value on a spreadsheet to make your object change completely. So let's start. We're going to use the same idea of creating a pen holder with the same measurements, but this actually can be turned into any kind of container. So I will start by creating a spreadsheet, and so we go to the workbench, the spreadsheet workbench, and then you create a spreadsheet. And then I typically use the column A just for a reference, and then the values that I'm going to use in the formulas I use from the column B. So let's say width and height. This is like looking from the top, width and height. And then we also want the value for the pad. Let's say that. So for our pen holder, we had a 60 millimeters width and 40 millimeters height for the base, and the depth of 10 centimeters or 100 millimeters. And also I want thickness. And we use 2 millimeters for the thickness, 2 millimeters at each side. So like 2 millimeters around. Okay, so we have our values, and now I'm gonna do the whole process again, create a new object using the Part Design workbench. I'm gonna create a body and then create a sketch. You can also use the shortcuts on the left sidebar. Create sketch, use the XY plane, and then I will proceed and create the square and use the symmetry constraint to centralize the object here. Okay, now for the width and height, I'm gonna use the spreadsheet. So I'm gonna go the same procedure, like select this line and go here to the dimensions, the constraint. Then I'm gonna set a constraint horizontal distance. And then instead of setting the value here directly, a static value, I'm gonna use formula here, enter an expression. And then you can reference the spreadsheet dot, you see how it shows the information, the reference metadata that you add. So it's B1, the width is B1. Okay, so 6 millimeters already set. And then for the height, I'm gonna go here, dimension, vertical distance, and then set the expression spreadsheet dot, I think it's B2. Yes, B2 from the spreadsheet. So 60 and 40, that's our set. And I'm gonna close. My sketch is fully constrained. And now I'm gonna pad this also using the value that I selected, that I set on the spreadsheet, B3. Yes, 10 centimeters. I have my base object, and now we're gonna do the hole, the pocket. So select the top and then create a new sketch. Then again, I'm gonna create a rectangle. So now I'm gonna have to do a little formula to calculate the width minus the thickness that we want. So let's first centralize these, make sure it's all centralized. Let's set the constraint, the horizontal distance, and then I'm gonna use the formula. And then this is gonna be spreadsheet.b1 minus 2 times spreadsheet.b4, 56 millimeters, just as our original design. And then here I'm gonna set the vertical distance, and this is gonna be spreadsheet.b2 minus 2 times spreadsheet.b4, which is the thickness that we have set, 36 millimeters. Then now it's fully constrained, and I can use the pocket. For the pockets, we also want the same thickness at the bottom. We can adjust also if needed, but for that it would be, for 2 millimeters, it would be spreadsheet.b3 minus 2 times spreadsheet.b4, 96. Our original one had 90, so it had a thicker bottom, but it's not necessary really. You can keep the thin. 2 millimeters is good for the bottom also, but you can adjust. And then finally, we have the fillet. Just one note that the fillet, the thickness of the fillet depends on the walls, like how thick the part is where you're doing the fillet. So if you make it too thin, it might break if you later on you change the values. But let's add the fillet. You can also select all the corners using Control. Let me do like this. Oh, no, this is not right. Wait, this for the fillet, and then select only the corners. Okay, so we have our pen holder again, the same as the last video, but this is much more dynamic. We can change the size anytime we want. So let's try now. I'm gonna go here in the spreadsheet, and then I'm gonna make a short pen holder, slightly larger. Let's make it all like a square. See how it looks. See? It changes magically. So this is extremely useful for making dynamic objects. I already made quite a few models using this technique to make them dynamic. So you can change to adapt to any, in this case, it's a container, so you can turn it into any kind of container, not only for pens, but for other things too. Like for jewelry or other things, small things, a hold it all container that you have on your desktop, or for candy or anything that you want. I hope you have enjoyed this FreeCAD tutorial, and if you have any suggestions for other tutorials, please leave in the comments. Thanks for watching.